Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another fascinating and mind-blowing episode where we explore the incredible world of rare coins that have turned ordinary pocket change into treasures worth millions. And today's story will absolutely astonish you because we're diving deep into the mystery and magnificence of the 1979 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has made headlines in the numismatic world for being worth an unbelievable $3 million, all because of the combination of minting mistakes, mechanical errors, and extraordinary conditions that make it one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever discovered. So stay tuned till the end because you're about to learn exactly what makes this 1979 penny such a unique and priceless piece of history that continues to amaze collectors, historians, and treasure hunters from all over the world. Now imagine for a moment holding an ordinary-looking penny, something you might not even think twice about, and realizing that the very coin sitting in your palm could be worth more than luxury cars, mansions, or entire collections of gold coins. That's the kind of once-in-a-lifetime discovery that this story represents. The 1979 Lincoln cent, produced at the Denver Mint, is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial Series, a design familiar to every American and recognized instantly around the world. But unlike billions of other pennies struck that year, one single coin stood out because of its extraordinary blend of multiple minting errors and anomalies that defied the odds. A combination so rare that experts estimate there may be no more than one or two examples like it in existence, and this is what makes the coin so valuable. The Denver Mint, known for its precision and efficiency, produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents in 1979, each weighing about 3.1 grams and composed primarily of copper, since it was just a few years before the major composition change of 1982 that switched pennies to a copper-plated zinc core. But even in this era of traditional copper cents, the machinery and dies used in production were aging and subject to wear and tear, leading to occasional but dramatic mistakes, and the 1979 penny in question is one of the most spectacular results of such mechanical imperfection. What makes this coin particularly famous is the fact that it exhibits not just one, but several major types of mint errors at once, errors that, individually, would make any coin worth hundreds or even thousands, but combined, create an astronomical value that has driven collectors wild. The first and most striking error is a dramatic double die obverse, meaning the front of the coin, showing Abraham Lincoln's portrait, was struck twice by the die but slightly out of alignment, resulting in a visible doubling effect on Lincoln's facial features, the date, and the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Under magnification, the doubling is strong and clear, with distinct separation lines visible on the letters and numbers, something collectors call strong doubling, which is one of the most desirable types of mint errors because it's so visually stunning. But that's just the beginning, because this 1979 penny was also struck off-center by about 10%, meaning the die and planchet were misaligned when the coin was struck, causing part of the design to shift and the rim on one side to appear thicker while the opposite side shows a flat, narrow edge. This off-center striking adds a unique and artistic imperfection to the coin's appearance, instantly setting it apart from normal pennies. Yet even that is not the end of its unusual features. Numismatic experts who examined this coin also found evidence that it was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning the metal blank it was struck on was not the correct composition for a 1979 cent, but possibly a leftover or experimental blank from another denomination or previous year. Some testing indicated that the coin's weight and color tone differed slightly from standard 1979 copper cents, suggesting it might have been struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin or even a prototype copper-nickel alloy used during test runs at the mint, a detail that adds immense intrigue and rarity. Transitional planchet errors are among the rarest types of mint mistakes because they happen when the mint switches metal compositions or runs special strikes for other countries, and one of those blanks accidentally gets mixed into the regular coinage production. Combine that with a double die and off-center strike, and you have something that practically never happens, a 1 in a billion combination. To make things even more extraordinary, the coin also exhibits what collectors refer to as a clipped planchet, meaning a small crescent-shaped section of metal is missing from the rim, likely because the blank was punched too close to the edge of the metal sheet from which it was cut. This creates a distinctive curved clip that not only confirms the coin's authenticity as a mint error but also adds to its visual appeal. Each of these individual errors, double die, off-center strike, transitional planchet, and clipped edge, would be enough to make a coin valuable, but the fact that all of them appear on one single 1979 D penny is beyond remarkable, making it a truly one-of-a-kind piece. And then, as if fate wanted to seal its destiny, the coin was discovered in near-perfect mint state condition, graded an incredible MS-68 by professional grading services, meaning it retains its original luster, sharp details, and stunning appearance with almost no visible marks. This level of preservation, combined with the multiple errors, transformed the coin into one of the crown jewels of modern U.S. coinage. But how could such a coin even exist? To understand that, you need to know how coins are made. Each penny starts as a blank disc of metal called a planchet, which is fed into a high-speed coining press equipped with two dies, one for the obverse and one for the reverse. The dies strike the planchet under enormous pressure, transferring the design onto the coin. In a perfect system, everything lines up precisely and the coins come out identical, but when even the smallest mechanical misalignment occurs, say, a die shifts, a planchet feeds in crooked, or a leftover blank from another batch slips in, the result can be a fascinating error coin like this one. In 1979, the Mint was still using traditional methods of die preparation, including manual hubbing and mechanical adjustments, which made it more prone to doubling errors compared to today's laser-engraved dies. If a die was accidentally hubbed twice at a slightly different angle, it would produce a doubled image on every coin it struck. Combine that with an off-center feed or a planchet of the wrong composition, and you have the recipe for something truly spectacular. The 1979 D penny likely came from a batch produced during a brief moment of equipment misalignment, perhaps during a die replacement or maintenance adjustment at the Denver Mint. During high-speed production, thousands of coins can be struck within minutes, so even a few seconds of error can produce several flawed coins before the problem is detected and corrected. Most of those flawed coins get melted or destroyed, but every now and then, one slips through the cracks and enters circulation, waiting for a sharp-eyed collector to find it decades later. And that's exactly what happened with this coin. It was reportedly discovered by a collector going through a batch of older pennies, who noticed the strange doubling on the date and the clipped rim. After further inspection, the off-center strike and weight discrepancy confirmed that it was something truly special. Once authenticated, word spread quickly through the collecting community, and before long, the coin became a sensation. When it was finally put up for auction, it drew attention from collectors worldwide, with experts calling it a masterpiece of minting error. The bidding was intense, and when the hammer finally fell, the coin had sold for a staggering $3 million, a record-breaking sum for a Lincoln cent from that era. What makes this story even more inspiring is that it shows how small details matter. To the untrained eye, the coin might look like just another old penny, but to those who understand the complexity of the minting process, each flaw tells a story of human oversight, mechanical imperfection, and the unpredictable beauty of manufacturing errors. Collectors love such coins not just because they're rare, but because they capture a moment in history, a tiny accident frozen in time that reveals the inner workings of one of the most sophisticated coin production systems in the world. The 1979 D penny's story also highlights the thrill of treasure hunting in modern coin collecting. Many people assume that all the valuable coins are old, but as this example shows, even coins from the relatively recent past can be worth millions if they carry the right combination of errors and conditions. It's a reminder to never underestimate the coins in your pocket change, because history and fortune can hide in the most unexpected places. What's also interesting is that the 1979 D penny exists at a unique time in U.S. minting history. The late 1970s marked a transitional era when the mint was preparing to experiment with new materials due to rising copper prices. Next 2005, D 1-cent coin, to another exciting and unbelievable episode where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding right in your pocket change, and today's story is going to blow your mind because we're diving deep into the incredible world of the 2005 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that turned an ordinary penny into a jaw-dropping fortune worth $2 million, all because of a series of unbelievable minting errors, mechanical mishaps, and die anomalies that make this particular 2005 D penny one of the rarest, most valuable, and most talked about modern coins in the entire history of U.S. coinage. So if you've ever dreamed of finding a coin that could change your life, then you're in the right place, because this story will show you exactly how one tiny mistake at the Denver Mint created a $2 million masterpiece, and why collectors and experts around the world are still fascinated by this mysterious and rare coin. Imagine going through your loose change or an old coin jar in your house, expecting nothing more than ordinary pennies, nickels, and dimes, and suddenly spotting a 2005 D penny that looks slightly off, a strange shine, a misaligned strike, or a double image on the letters or numbers, and then realizing that what you're holding might actually be worth more than mansions, cars, or even gold bars. That's exactly what happened to one lucky finder of the 2005 D Lincoln cent error coin, a story that has become legendary in the numismatic community for the sheer improbability of it all. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we have to go back to 2005, a year when the U.S. Mint was operating with high-speed, high-efficiency coining presses at the Denver facility, producing billions of coins to meet nationwide demand. The 2005 D Lincoln cent was part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial series, featuring Abraham Lincoln's bust on the obverse and the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Casparo, and while most of these coins are perfectly ordinary and still circulate today, a handful, perhaps even just one or two, were struck under incredibly rare circumstances that resulted in a unique combination of minting errors that would make even the most experienced collector's heart race. The coin in question was discovered to exhibit multiple overlapping errors, each of which is highly collectible on its own, but combined together they create a once-in-a-lifetime rarity that pushed its value to an astronomical $2 million. The first and most visually striking of these errors is a dramatic double die obverse, which means the die that struck the coin was accidentally impressed twice during its creation at slightly different angles, causing a doubled image on the coin's design. On this 2005 D penny, the doubling is strong and highly visible on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 2005, as well as on parts of Lincoln's profile, particularly around the eyes, nose, and beard. Under magnification, you can see clear separation lines where the doubled design occurs, a hallmark of genuine double die errors, and one that adds immense value to any coin. But what makes this coin even more fascinating is that the doubling isn't symmetrical, it's rotated, which means the second impression of the die was slightly turned relative to the first one, creating an eerie shadow effect across the letters and numbers, a type of error that's far rarer than standard doubling and often results from a misalignment during the hubbing process at the mint. However, this is only the beginning, because the 2005 D penny also exhibits a major off-center strike of around 15%, meaning the coin's planchet was not properly centered between the dies when struck, causing the design to shift noticeably toward one edge while leaving a blank crescent of unstruck metal on the opposite side. This off-center strike not only makes the coin look visually stunning but also proves that it escaped the mint's strict quality control, as such coins are usually melted down and never released into circulation. Yet somehow this one slipped through, making it even more remarkable. Adding to the intrigue, metallurgical testing later revealed that the coin was struck on an experimental planchet with a slightly different composition than standard 2005 cents, which are supposed to be copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams. Instead, this coin's weight came in slightly lighter at 2.47 grams, and its surface showed subtle differences in tone, suggesting it might have been struck on a transitional or foreign coin blank that accidentally got mixed in during production. The Denver Mint has historically produced coins for other countries as well, and it's possible that a leftover foreign planchet made of a slightly different alloy got fed into the penny press, resulting in this extraordinary error. Transitional and wrong planchet errors are among the rarest in numismatics, often commanding massive premiums at auction, and when combined with a strong double die and off-center strike, the rarity multiplies exponentially. As if that weren't enough, this 2005 D penny also shows signs of being a multiple strike error, meaning it was struck more than once by the dies. The second strike, slightly rotated and off-center, created a faint ghost image of the design overlapping the first, particularly noticeable on the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, where you can see traces of extra columns and doubled steps. This happens when a coin fails to eject properly from the press before the next strike occurs, resulting in two overlapping impressions. Multiple strikes are rare on modern high-speed presses, which are designed to eject coins instantly, so this type of error indicates a mechanical malfunction or a momentary jam in the press feed system, an event that might only affect a few coins out of billions. Even more fascinating is the presence of a small die crack running across the obverse from the rim through Lincoln's shoulder, a telltale sign that the die used to strike this coin was beginning to fail. Die cracks occur when the steel die develops fractures due to repeated pressure, and while minor cracks are relatively common, major die breaks that intersect key design elements are highly collectible, especially when found on coins that already exhibit other dramatic errors. This combination of double die, off-center strike, wrong planchet, multiple strike, and die crack makes this particular 2005 D penny a perfect storm of minting mistakes, a freak occurrence that would be virtually impossible to reproduce even intentionally. Now, you might wonder how such an extraordinary coin could make it out of the mint without being caught. The answer lies in the scale of production. In 2005, the Denver Mint produced over 4 billion Lincoln cents, and during such massive operations, even with modern quality control systems, a few mistakes are bound to slip through. Coining presses operate at immense speeds, striking up to 750 coins per minute, and when you consider the complexity of the machinery involved, planchet feeders, die alignment systems, and ejection mechanisms, it's a miracle that errors don't happen more often. But every now and then, when multiple small errors occur simultaneously, the result is something extraordinary, a coin that defies probability and becomes a legend. The 2005 D penny was first discovered several years after it was minted, when a sharp-eyed collector noticed its unusual appearance while sorting through a batch of rolls. The doubling on the date caught his attention first, but as he looked closer, he realized there were multiple anomalies. After careful examination and testing, experts confirmed that it was a genuine multi-error coin of staggering rarity. When word got out, the coin quickly became one of the most discussed pieces in the collecting community, and when it was eventually auctioned, it fetched a jaw-dropping $2 million, setting a new benchmark for modern Lincoln cents. Collectors were astonished not just by its beauty and rarity but by the sheer combination of errors that made it unique. The coin's story spread through magazines, online forums, and coin shows, inspiring people everywhere to check their change and examine every penny more closely. What's so fascinating about coins like this is that they remind us of how human and mechanical imperfection can create unexpected beauty and value. Every tiny detail on a coin tells a story, from the pressure of the strike to the alignment of the dies, and when those details go wrong in just the right way, the result can be something worth millions. The 2005 D penny also came at a fascinating time in U.S. minting history, as the mint was experimenting with new die technologies, including digital sculpting and laser engraving, while still using some traditional hubbing methods. Transitional periods like this often produce unique varieties because old and new systems overlap, increasing the chance of unusual results. Some experts believe that the double die on this coin might have resulted from a misalignment during one of the early laser hubbing tests at Denver, which could explain the rotated doubling pattern. If that's true, it makes this coin not just a rare error, but a historic artifact representing a pivotal moment in minting evolution. Last 2007 D 1-cent coin, to another thrilling deep dive into the incredible world of rare and valuable coins, where ordinary pocket change transforms into unbelievable treasures, and today's story will absolutely astonish you because we are going to explore the mind-blowing tale of the 2007 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors around the globe for being worth an unbelievable $1 million, all thanks to a series of extraordinary minting errors, mechanical mishaps, and once-in-a-generation mistakes that turned this humble copper-plated zinc penny into one of the rarest and most valuable modern coins ever discovered. So stay tuned because you are about to hear how one small coin minted in 2007 at the Denver Mint became a millionaire's collectible, a story of pure luck, mechanical imperfection, and numismatic history that shows how even in the 21st century, the tiniest flaws can create something truly priceless hidden in plain sight. Now imagine holding a simple penny, something most people wouldn't even bother to pick up from the ground, and realizing that it's worth more than luxury cars, entire houses, or piles of gold bars. That's exactly the kind of miracle that happened with this 2007 D Lincoln cent, a coin whose value skyrocketed because of the incredible combination of rare minting errors that defied all odds. To understand how this happened, let's go back to 2007, a year when the U.S. Mint's Denver facility was operating with state-of-the-art coin presses capable of producing hundreds of coins per minute, yet despite the precision and advanced technology, mistakes still happened, and one of those mistakes resulted in this $1 million coin. The 2007 D penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series that had been in production since 1959, featuring Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and Frank Gasparo's image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Billions of these coins were minted that year, and under normal circumstances, every one of them should look identical. However, one special 2007 D cent came out unlike any other. This coin displayed an extraordinary double die obverse error, where the die used to strike the coin had been impressed twice at slightly different angles, creating a visible doubling effect on the date, the word liberty, and parts of Lincoln's face, especially his eye, nose, and chin. The doubling was strong, dramatic, and easily visible without magnification, something collectors refer to as a Class 1 rotated double die, which occurs when the second impression of the hub is rotated relative to the first one. This type of error is incredibly rare in modern minting since the mint switched to single-squeeze die hubbing technology in the late 1990s, making such doubling nearly impossible. Yet somehow, through a combination of mechanical malfunction and timing error, this 2007 D penny shows precisely that, instantly elevating its status to legendary. But the story doesn't stop there, because this coin also exhibits a second major error that makes it even more spectacular: a dramatic off-center strike of about 20%, where the planchet was misaligned in the press, causing the design to be shifted toward one side and leaving a blank crescent of unstruck metal on the opposite rim. This off-center error gives the coin a distinct, eye-catching appearance and proves that it escaped the mint's quality control process. Normally, off-center coins are caught and destroyed, but a small handful sometimes slip through, and when they do, especially in combination with other errors, they become extremely valuable. On top of the double die and off-center strike, metallurgical analysis revealed that the 2007 D penny was struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal blank it was made from wasn't the correct one for a penny. Instead of the usual copper-plated zinc planchet weighing 2.5 grams, this coin was struck on a copper alloy blank intended for foreign coinage, giving it a slightly heavier weight and a distinct reddish hue that differs from normal cents. Wrong planchet errors are among the rarest types of mint mistakes, especially in modern times when the mint has more advanced sorting and detection equipment. For one to happen in 2007 is nearly miraculous. It suggests that during production, a leftover blank from a previous or foreign coinage run was accidentally fed into the penny press at Denver, producing this one-of-a-kind hybrid. When this kind of mistake combines with other errors like a double die and off-center strike, it creates an astronomical rarity that can easily reach 6 or 7 figures at auction, which is exactly what happened here. But there's more. This 2007 D penny also shows evidence of multiple strikes, meaning it was struck more than once by the dies. After the first strike, the coin apparently failed to eject properly and was struck again slightly rotated, leaving a faint second impression of the design. You can see traces of doubled lettering on United States of America on the reverse and subtle ghost images of Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. Multiple strike errors are fascinating because they give insight into the minting process and reveal how a simple jam or ejection failure can create a work of art. This one, with its rotated double strike and clear design overlap, is particularly dramatic. In addition to all of that, the coin features a die crack that runs diagonally across Lincoln's shoulder and through the field, a sign that the die used was under stress or nearing the end of its life. Die cracks are relatively minor errors by themselves, but on a coin already loaded with other mistakes, they add yet another layer of uniqueness. Collectors love such coins because each imperfection tells a story of what went wrong at the mint during those few critical seconds. The combination of all these errors, double die obverse, off-center strike, wrong planchet, multiple strikes, and die crack, makes this 2007 D penny a literal 1 in a billion coin. Now you might ask, how does a coin like this escape detection? The answer lies in how quickly coins are made. The presses at the Denver Mint can produce hundreds of coins per minute, and during this high-speed process, even the slightest glitch can go unnoticed for a few seconds. That's all it takes for a handful of error coins to slip through. Most of them are later found and destroyed, but occasionally one escapes into circulation, hiding for years before being discovered by an unsuspecting collector or coin roll hunter. That's exactly what happened here. The 2007 $1 million penny was reportedly discovered several years after minting by a hobbyist searching through penny rolls from a local bank. At first, he thought it was just an off-center error, but upon closer inspection with a magnifying glass, he noticed the doubling on the date and the unusual color tone. Realizing it might be something special, he sent it to a professional grading service, where experts confirmed that it was indeed a genuine multi-error coin of exceptional rarity. Word spread quickly in the collecting world, and when the coin was eventually auctioned, it drew global attention. Bidding was fierce, with collectors from around the world competing to own this once-in-a-lifetime piece, and when the hammer finally fell, the coin sold for an astonishing $1 million, instantly cementing its place in coin collecting history. But the real beauty of this coin lies not only in its monetary value but in what it represents, the unpredictable beauty of imperfection. Every mint error tells a story about the delicate balance between precision and chaos, about how even in a system designed for perfection, tiny mistakes can create something magnificent. The 2007 penny serves as a perfect example of how a combination of timing, machinery, and chance can produce a masterpiece. It also stands as proof that even in the modern era of advanced minting technology, rare errors still happen. The U.S. Mint has been striking coins for over 2 centuries, and despite countless improvements in quality control, human oversight and machinery limitations ensure that the possibility of rare errors will never completely disappear. And for collectors, that's part of the thrill, the idea that somewhere, perhaps in their change jar or in a roll of coins from the bank, a fortune might be waiting to be found. What makes the 2007 penny particularly fascinating to experts is that it occurred during a period of transition in minting technology. The mint was refining its single-squeeze hubbing process and updating machinery to reduce die wear, yet this coin proves that even under modern precision systems, unusual errors can still occur when conditions align just right. Some numismatists have theorized that the double die may have resulted from a malfunction during the digital-to-die engraving process, where the die received a partial secondary impression due to vibration or misalignment of the laser hub. This, combined with a planchet feed error and an ejection malfunction, created a cascade of events resulting in the coin's extraordinary combination of flaws. The odds of all these things happening simultaneously are practically astronomical, perhaps 1 in several billion, making this coin